What's up guys, Jake here. So as most of you will already know, I quite recently had top surgery. As an AFAB trans person who has been binding for about 4 years straight now, top surgery was definitely something that I felt that I needed. The whole process to me has been quite overwhelming since I only had about 5 days to prepare for it, and it's been a long battle just to get top surgery. But I'm here now and I've had it, and mostly I feel great. I feel extremely positive towards the surgery, towards the way my chest looks, the results, not having to bind, all the clothes that I can now wear, everything relating to the fact that I've had top surgery. But my dysphoria has kind of gotten worse. Starting testosterone for me was a great relief. It started to alleviate the majority of my dysphoria, and I focused quite hard on forgetting about the fact that I had a chest and trying to ignore the fact that surgery was so far away. So I think I was denying how much dysphoria I had about my chest. This worked most of the time, because I'm apparently very good at just ignoring my feelings. Now that I've gone through what I consider to be pretty much the last medical stage for me, it has highlighted a lot about myself, about my body, that I can't really cope with. Now, a lot of these feelings are dysphoria related, but some of them are just related to my body in general, outside of gender. I think hating your body for a long time takes a very heavy toll on your mental health. So when you do something drastic that changes your body in a positive way, you don't realise how much it shifts your view onto another part of your body. So ever since surgery, my brain has been fixated on how skinny my arms are and how much I hate that, how I've never really bulked up or put on any muscle, how chubby my stomach is. I can't stand it. My inability to grow a mustache. I know that sounds stupid, but I've got what I consider to be quite a good beard. I like my beard. It makes me really happy, but it's just the lack of facial hair that's growing like in this part of my face just causes me so much discomfort, because looking at my brothers, looking at the other men in my family, they have very strong beard game and they have very good mustaches as well. Not having that and not being biologically like the rest of the masculine people in my family hurts. But the biggest part of my refocused dysphoria is bottom dysphoria. This is something that's really hard for me to talk about because I've always been so good at ignoring the discomfort that part of my body gives me. I never want lower surgery. It's not something that I think is fitting for me. I don't think it would benefit my life really in any way. I would have loved to have been born with a penis, but obviously that didn't happen. So knowing that this is something that I'm stuck with, knowing that this is the one thing that I can't change and will never change, that's a big reality to face, and I think it's been easy to ignore that because I've still had steps to take, I've still had things to do, I've still had other things to focus on to distract me from that. But now I've got this harsh, glaring reality that this is my body for life now. Apart from growing old and maybe a few late onset changes from testosterone, my body's not really going to change. Sure, I can now actually start doing exercise and working out because I don't have a binder restricting me. So I can bulk up my arms when I'm healed enough from top surgery, and I can tone up my stomach if I want to. That's all I can really do, that's all that's within my power. The thing is that packing has never worked for me. It's always made me feel 10 times more uncomfortable than comfortable. I think the thought of having like a foreign object in my pants that just kind of sits there and can move and can look weird and can cause some really embarrassing situations just makes me paranoid, and it never feels natural, and my attention is always focused on like a packer if I ever try packing. So that just heightens my sense of dysphoria. But I think the biggest thing about having lower dysphoria is sex. Sex as a trans person can be kind of a complex thing to navigate, and I think I've done really well. I've been doing really well. I've had some great sex. There's just always these little things that I have to do that frustrates me. Like finding it really challenging to have sex when it's not dark in a room, not being able to have sex in certain positions or certain ways or do certain things that I'm pretty sure my body would enjoy, but I'm too distracted by my sense of dysphoria to even enjoy it. So it's just this big complicated mess, and I'm trying to have a type of sex that I want to have, but my dysphoria doesn't want me to have, and that is just a heightened reminder that I'm trans and that my body isn't the way it should be. All of that post-top surgery is so much worse than I think I've ever been. Luckily, I currently have a partner who is extremely understanding of my dysphoria and of my body, and is always so ready to facilitate my needs and help me feel comfortable. And that really does help. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about this type of dysphoria. It's not like dysphoria can be therapied away. It's not like things like depression and anxiety when you can be given medication and you can be given CBT in forms of therapy, and that can alleviate it and sometimes help it go away. Dysphoria doesn't really work like that. It's like it's hardwired into your brain, and unless there is something you know you can do to change that and to help fix it, like surgeries and hormones, it's just gonna be there forever. That's a big thing to realise. That's a fucking shitty reality to have to face, and I think this is the first time in a long time that I really think I'm truly living the trans experience in a negative way. Because although I've always had dysphoria and it's always been hard, I've always been moving forward to alleviate it, and now I'm done. And I'm looking down the face of forever with what I've got. I think dysphoria worsening after surgery is something that a lot of people just don't really talk about. I've never really seen a huge discussion about this. I've never really seen people say, I've got top surgery and now I feel like shit. And I think that's the thing about the human brain, is that once you've fixed one problem in your life, another problem arises, or you take another thing off the back burner and that becomes an all-consuming thing. And I think there needs to be more of a discussion about this. More of a discussion about how testosterone can make people feel more dysphoric, because maybe changes aren't happening as fast as you wanted it to, or you don't get certain changes. That can make people feel terrible. You've got this one thing, your only option, the only thing you think is going to work and is going to help you out, has actually turned out to be nothing like what you wanted. Or people that go through top surgery and their results aren't what they wanted it to be. I can't imagine where that would leave you, and I can't imagine how that would impact your dysphoria. This is one of the many awful things about being trans. And I want to make it clear that I don't hate being trans. I don't know whether I would choose it if I had the option. I mean, so much good has come out of me being trans, but also there's ultimately just this base level of suffering that I will always have to endure. Being in this community is, at times, a gift, and it's wonderful, and I feel like I have a deeper understanding, a more philosophical understanding of myself, my identity, my gender, and it's given me this viewpoint in life that I feel so blessed to have. It comes with the price of suffering. It comes with the price of being persecuted. It comes at the price of people making laws against you, people being murdered, people being constantly harassed and attacked throughout their lifetime, missing out on job opportunities, always feeling like you are lesser in society, feeling that even within inside your own community, you're being discriminated against. And then you've got all of that alongside what I consider to be one of the most integral parts of being trans, and that is dysphoria. Unless you're one of the lucky ones that doesn't experience dysphoria anymore because of your transition, then it's something that is interwoven into your life and into yourself. So, yes, top surgery did alleviate a huge element of my dysphoria. It's also reframed that dysphoria elsewhere. So this is an insight into what it's like for me to be trans. The thing about me is that I always like to have a positive message that people can take away from a video, but I don't really think I have one here. I think I'm just here to share the fact that it's crap, and not a lot of people are talking about this. And I think we should have a more open discussion about how dysphoria can be worsened by medical transition, because medical transition is not this big saving thing. It's not something that is a cure. Younger trans people and people that are earlier in their transition should know that. It's a harsh reality to face, but I think I would have rather faced it sooner than later. I think I rather would have had somebody tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, so top surgery might make you feel worse about the rest of your body, or testosterone might not give you all the changes that you think it will. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. But all that being said, I hope you have a lovely week, stay hydrated, love yourself, and know that I love you. Where did this new outro come from? I don't even know when I started. Like, what?